It's all good. It's all God. Showtime. Wow.
Shirts that they've been wearing since the 1950s.
Hello, family.
Hey, I'm trying to get it right now.
How's everybody doing?
Girl, I'm trying to get it right now. Let me do it. Hang up.
Just tell me about this. Does it look okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. They own. They own. Okay. Okay. Let me get it to you. They own.
Yeah, we on.
Recording.
Hello, everybody.
Hello from one of your newest cousins.
Oh, which one is that?
This is Joan Harris.
Hi, Joan. Where are you at? Let me see where you're at on here. Do you have your video on? Or are you going to be on audio?
I do. Can you not see me?
Yes.
Let me see. Which one is she?
I'm the one with the big gray streak in the front.
Gray streak. I got you,
Yeah,
Joan.
the gray
Yeah, I
hair.
got you. Yeah, I got you. I got you loud and clear. People are getting adjusted. They're getting there. You know, this is part of the meet and greet. You know, we start off getting all of our technical difficulties and work things out. But it's good to see everybody. It's been a while.
Hey, Jerry.
Hi, how you doing, cuz?
Pretty good.
What's up, Larry?
Always a miss.
How you doing, Larry? Can you hear me, Larry Trice? Oh, that's what I'm talking about, technical. Who is the owner's iPhone over here on my right next to me? Who's this beautiful cousin of mine?
I hope it's Darlene. I don't know.
Yes, it is.
For sure. From Omaha, Nebraska. Thank you.
We roll in. I was with her, 2 weeks ago when I was in Nebraska. That's Darlene, my cousin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, fam. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Oh, man.
Hey, Jerry, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine. I'm blessed and highly favored. It's just, and that's for real.
Yes.
I was trying to get a response out of Larry Trice out there in Las Vegas. But we'll see. Got a Nancy. I see you, Elizabeth. I think this is Shirley's coming in. Here comes Michelle Houston. Her and Anthony. They're coming in from all over the world for the show. Man. All right. There's Michelle.
Hello.
That's good. Now, Larry, are you going to say hi? Are you going to say hi, Larry?
I didn't hear you.
I was talking about Larry down here. He's not speaking so far. But when he does, he sure has a lot to say. Hello, Evelyn. Evelyn, how are you?
Hi, Jerry.
Hi, how are you? That's Elizabeth.
Hey.
Yeah, look at them. They all smiles, ready for the show.
Yes, we are.
A Marshall up there. Marshall? Can you hear me, Marshall? Hey, thanks for checking in, man.
Yes,
How
I
you,
can.
how you doing?
Uh,
Good. It's good to
I'm
have
doing
you.
okay. How about you?
Fine. It's good to
Thanks
have you.
for the invitation.
It's good to
Thanks for
have
the
you.
invitation.
Yep. Get in where you fit in.
Right.
Except for Eddie here, the champ. Oh, here comes Donise. Here's some more people, boy. Showtime.
Wow. Uh-oh.
And Donise.
I think everybody's waiting for this meeting. We hadn't had one in a while.
Yeah, well, like I've been missing all you people also, you know.
Yeah, we like the music.
I don't know which one's that on. I might have to do some regulating. Who has music playing? Oh man, now I gotta go. Y'all gonna make me work. Hey, John Walker, how you doing?
His mic is muted.
Oh, well, he's on.
Now I'm good.
All right, good. Nice seeing you.
John and Nancy.
Yeah.
Hello,
Okay.
Donise.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, fine. I just got out, just came from church. Our church, this is our first time being back. And man, whoo, they were long-winded, long prayers. I had to raise my hand.
See everybody.
I had to raise my hand and leave, you know, and leave my donation. They said, don't leave without the donation.
Oh, Jerry.
But I did that. I did that to make it here, you know. Yeah, yeah, but it was cool. First time in what, about 12, 13 months?
Year and a half, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought I'd show up, you know.
We're getting there.
We were showing up to see who was still alive. It wasn't necessary to it wasn't necessary to see what the service was. We were seeing who was all still alive, man. My church, we got a lot of old people. And I'm one of them.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But it was good. It was good. Okay, it looks like we got a nice little crew going. Let's start with some introductions, just brief introductions, just to tell us who you are, where you live at, and you know what your purpose is for doing DNA. So we're going to be brief with it, and then we're going to go into a couple of presentations, if that works for everybody. Can everybody hear me pretty clear? Do this if you hear.
Yes,
you hear me.
well, I do.
Okay, cool. All right, well, we're going to go with the introductions. We're going to start with Darlene, Eddie, and then Marshall. So Darlene, we want to.
Okay, my name is Darlene Thorpe. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska. I'm on the Burnell side of the family. And I got to meet Jerry, I think about 2 weeks ago for the very first time. We had a wonderful little reunion here in Omaha, and it was great meeting him. And hopefully I get a chance to meet all the family one day. We all come together. Looking forward to it. Oh, and Harriet Burnell is my great grandmother.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Eddie, thanks, Darlene. Go on, champ.
Yeah, my name is Eddie Henderson. I live in Kansas City, Missouri, originally from California, Palo Alto, California. I've been working with Jerry since he started. And I'm researching everybody and every name that I can get. I am a Moss, and the question is, which Moss group am I in? So we're still working on that. Okay.
Yeah, and he's my technical mentor. You know, he's my go-to guy when I need production technical assistance. You know, he's the man. All right, let's go with you, Marshall.
Marshall Trophy. I live in Dallas, Texas. I'm related through the Burnell side. My grandmother was Lucinda Kendrick, and I believe Harriet was her mother. So that's how we're tied to the Burnell.
Boy, it gets more interesting and more interesting, doesn't it, Eflin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Marshall.
Found some Burnell.
Oh, yeah, they're here.
Oh, can I say
Oh, go ahead.
something, please?
Yeah.
Please, can I say something to Marshall? Lucinda was my dad's auntie.
Oh,
He was,
okay.
yeah, he's a Kendrick. My maiden name is Kendrick.
Okay. Which Kendrick? Was one of her?
Lucinda,
Which sibling?
Lucinda, and my grandfather was William
Okay,
Henry
I
Kendrick. He was,
see him in the tree.
yeah, he was brother to Lucinda.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And this is one of the treasures that have just been discovered. You know, these are diamonds. We have acres of diamonds right here in front of us. And just to have that connection is very significant.
Yeah.
So I just pray that as we go along through this meeting, we get more connections so we can all fill out our family portraits. Okay, let's go with Joan.
Okay.
Joan and then Eflin.
Joanne.
Joanne.
No, it's Joan. The only one that called me Joanne was my my grandpa, who said J-O is Joe and A-N is Ann. So, but it's Joan. That was my grandpa, who was from Arkansas. Now, according to Jerry, I am related through the Burnell side, but I have zero clue how that is, because the reason why I actually set about doing this whole thing is that my father knows diddly squat about his paternal side, and I don't know if I'm getting to you all through his side, or what gets me is that a lot of you from Arkansas, and my mom's family on both sides are from Arkansas, so I don't know where it fits in. So, and I'm a bit of a neophyte on this whole DNA thing. So, you know, I was a science major in college, but this all still makes my head hurt big time. Right now, I live in Albany, New York area. I'm originally from Central New York, Utica. Grew up a little bit around because my father was in the service. So for the first 10 years of my life, we traveled around a fair bit. I'm looking at Eddie's name here, being in Kansas City, Missouri, because my father said he was told, he believes that his father was originally from Kansas City, Missouri, and then has some tie to Philadelphia at some point. So that's what caught my attention when I saw Eddie. And plus, Eddie, you kind of look like my dad's son that he had. Look a little bit like him. So my dad's not. You're too young to be my dad's kid.
Oh, really?
I'm an attorney, so I say nice things when I can. So that's my story. My story is pretty sketchy. I kind of have hit a brick wall on trying to figure out. And my father is still alive, but he hasn't taken a test, and I don't know if he's willing to do so, because he is the linchpin here. And I keep coming across names for DNA matches that don't sound like names I know from my mom's side, because my mom's side is very well documented between the Broyleses and the Stubbs and the Collinses. They're all very well documented, but there are some weird little offshoot names from, like, when the females got married and had kids, they're kind of branch offs there. Do give names I don't know, but all the names in here that I'm seeing and I've learned, I don't recognize any of them, which makes me think that perhaps they are through my father's side.
Any comments from anybody to her?
What part
Pardon
of
me?
Arkansas? What part of
Little Rock,
Arkansas?
Conway,
Where?
Mayflower. My mom's side, right?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Broyles is that's my maternal grandmother's, her mother was a Broyles by birth. And then she married into Collins. Now, that's another one that's kind of weird, because we don't know where Collins came from my mom's maternal grandfather, because his mother, Rosetta Burke, was born in like 1840 something or 1830 something, I think it was. And don't know quite sure where the Collins came from because we can't figure it out. But the Broyleses are I've been finding a lot of things about them. Like I said, the Broyles originated in South Carolina. I think it was Andersonville or Anderson County or something like that in South Carolina. And then the Stubbses, which is my mom's father's side, I do believe they came through from like Tennessee, Mississippi, Georgia to Arkansas. But they all ended up in Arkansas at some point, all in that same area of Mayflower, Little Rock, Conway, all that was Pulaski County, I think it's called.
Pine Bluff.
Maybe I haven't heard that one, but I've heard a few different ones in that area.
Well, we've had.
You said they were the Broyles.
Broyles, Broyles. That's my mom's mother's maternal family.
Well,
now my grandmother's grandmother, Melinda. We thought it was Chatham, but it shows up as Chapman. Can't find anything about her whatsoever. But Robert Broyles, who was her husband, I have been able to find some stuff about him, but not a whole lot. But there's some huge question marks in that area. But like I said, my father's side is the one that really was the reason why I started doing this. And I have come up with some interesting stuff.
You are an attorney. You really are an attorney. You really are an attorney.
I am, yes.
Because you're giving us
information. I'm talking too much, right? I'm talking.
So anyway, let me just say this.
Too much.
Let me say
I'm
this.
not talking to you because you might.
Well, let me just say this here to you, Joan. We have a lot of resources here that we can help you get the information that you need and that can help fill out your family portrait. And Eddie will be giving us a brief a presentation on how you can have tests done and you can do most of the paperwork. And here comes Frances Haywood, who is the matriarch of the Burnell family. She is my matriarch. No, she's my mentor, but she's tough. Here comes Frances. Ooh, wait, this is a show coming on. She's with the Burnells and the Kendricks. Okay, so on that, we'll be able to help you with that, Joan, okay? All right, so let's go with Eflin and then Elizabeth and then Michelle and Anthony. We're doing our introductions. Eflin?
Okay, I'm Eflin Taylor, Baby Mouse, and I'm from Lexington, Missouri. And in the last few days, I've been saying I can't find Philip Moss. But my cousin found him. He had changed his name to Moss. He believed that his owner might have been John, I think he said John Moss. And he believed that's why he changed his name to Moss, because of his mother and father. But his name when he went to service was Drown, D-R-O-W-N.
All right, Eflin, she just threw you all a curveball. Eflin is connected with us through the Burnells. She just came up with this Philip Moss. She is a Burnell. She has shared matches with the Burnells, and she didn't even mention it. My cousin throwing us curveballs.
I'm still thinking about that dirt.
Well, it's all good now. Whatever it is, it's coming out. Okay, Elizabeth.
Jerry know what I mean about that dirt.
Okay, Elizabeth, and then Michelle. Let's go, Elizabeth.
I'm Elizabeth Habit. My mother's name is Della V or Della May Habit. My dad is Ardell Habit. Now, my mother's parents' name was Delphemor Habit. Delphemor. Harriet, Shirley, help me. Harriet, yeah, Harriet. Okay, that's her mother's name is Delphine Harriet, and her dad, Eddie or Edo Harriet, and he's out of Mississippi. My grandma is out of Oklahoma, and her parents' name is Lee Green and Nellie Green. I'm still learning how to get all this information, but I got that much so far. I'm still trying to figure out the connection of everybody, and so y'all just continue to pray for me, pray with me, and continue to help me, because I'm on a serious mission. I really truly am. I really need to connect all the dots. And Jerry, I love you, and I need to know, you know, where the connection come in. Michelle, same thing with you. Everybody, please just help me.
I want to follow up with that.
I'm from I was okay.
Go on, finish.
Oh, I was born in San Bernardino. And I know my mom was born in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and my dad from Hobart, Oklahoma. And so I'm learning the different areas where they all came from.
And when I got back from I met her through our DNA matches, and that was before I went on my vacation. And then when I came back, I was, you know, she had lost her brother, and once I came back, I was able to spend some time with her. We went out. I picked her up, and we went out and had lunch, and I got a chance to bond with her. She lives here in San Diego, so she's a good cousin. You know, I'll be there for you as best I can, cuz.
Amen. Thank you.
All right, Michelle, and then Shirley.
Hello, I'm Michelle Sussberry Hill. My dad is a Rose. My mom is a Sussberry. I'm not sure how I match, except that when I put it up, it's on both sides of my family. And I know that because my mom did the DNA. So on both sides, it shows that I match, but I still haven't figured out how. My family is from Texas. My mother's side is from Texas and North Carolina. And my father's side is Texas and Hugo, Oklahoma.
Wow.
Yeah, so I just know I match and you're my cousins, and that's about as far as I know, but we're getting closer.
And she's down in the Texas area. What part
And
is
Anthony helps me.
her husband? And
Hi, Anthony.
and Francis, here's two of the.
And I'm in Houston.
And Francis, here's two of the members who, once you gave us that information on the DNA DC project, here's two of Georgetown project. Here's two of the descendants. Anthony was.
One.
Anthony is.
Anthony is.
And Francis will tell us a little bit more about it in a few. Okay, go on, Shirley.
And now,
What's that, Francis? There's Francis. She's coming.
Oh, yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry, I was sending you a note, Jerry, because I'm not going to be able to stay on because Georgetown is they're having a meeting today, a Zoom meeting about hiring an attorney to sue Georgetown University. So I'm trying to figure out how to get this college education paid for some grandnieces and nephews in a few years. So they're still working on that Georgetown thing. So I will keep you informed. So if you see I leave, that's why I'm gone.
Could you tell us briefly about it? What, while you're here, where you got that information?
Yeah, it was basically through a DNA test, and through DNA testing, there's a group called Georgetown Memory Project. In a reaction to discovering that Georgetown University and the Jesuits who runs them had over 300 of our ancestors who they sold to keep Georgetown, that's in DC right now, currently running. They sold them off into Mississippi. And so when the Georgetown Memory Project people got so incensed, they started this Georgetown Memory Project, and they began to test who they thought were descendants. And of those descendants, I discovered through a DNA match that I was a descendant of somebody who was sold, who was connected to those people that were sold in to Louisiana. trying to sort it out has really been interesting because I've learned more about the family. I've discovered that now I've got ancestors who were part of the Arcadians who left back in Louisiana, who left Canada and went to Louisiana. So every day it's just a wealth of experience and an expansion of who the family really is. So, and I don't know, and I know it's more than likely on the maternal side. I think it could be a Burnell. I think it could be one of like Isham or either Nimrod, the two brothers, one of their wives. They're both from Virginia. So it's a long story. So if I leave you, that's why I'm glad. I'm on the Zoom meeting. They're talking about hiring an attorney. So I really want to be on the ground floor. So that'll hopefully help everybody else out. So whatever I learn, I'll let you know.
Thank you very much. And could you give us just a brief introduction about who you are and who you research?
Oh yeah, I'm Frances. I am a Burnell. My great grandfather was Nimrod. Isham Burnell. So we know that there were two brothers. There's Isham and Nimrod, and I'm from the Isham branch. I have a cousin whose name is Kendricks, and he's also into genealogy, and he is through the Nimrod branch of the family. Huh? Yes.
And I'm related to her through the Isham branch too, because there was a senior and a junior.
Okay.
And her and I, we're related through that same branch. And she lives in Carson.
Yeah. So
and
my grandfather was Edward.
She lives in Carson, and I've been up there to see her a couple of times because my son lives in Long Beach. A wonderful woman. That's my mentor.
That's my relationship. I'm a Burnell, and I keep telling everybody the more I do genealogy, I always say that I am by birth related to a few people down there in Arkansas, and by marriages I think I'm related to everybody. I've heard Mosses, you name it. I've got somebody in my tree.
She gave me my first pedigree chart maybe 3 years ago, and that's what I use as a basis for my research. She did the preliminary work. She gave my first pedigree on the Mosses and the Burnells, and I've been able to
and that basically comes from my and that comes from what my aunts and my mom wrote down. And they've not only just listed, quote unquote, the children that were born within the marriage, they also listed the children who were born outside the marriage. And so that really has made those connections too. It's kind of made for some interesting conversations, but that's been over 100 years ago. As my mother says, we're all related.
That's cool.
We're all family, and you need to know who your family is.
Yes. Excuse me, Frances, but I think I met you before. One of the Kendrick Mosley Henson's reunions.
Yeah, I'm a Kendricks too. Yes.
But I think I met you at one of our reunions.
Yeah, I've gone to the last few. Last few. One in Yeah.
I noticed you look very familiar.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, my grandfather, Edward Burnell, who's the brother of Isham Jr.
Okay.
He married Elvira Kendricks. So that's
okay. Wow.
That's why I said I'm related to everybody. So the so I've got the Kendricks family tree too. So so if you've been to the Kendricks family, so if you're related to a Godbolt or a Dismuke, you're kind of through the Kendricks. That's a whole nother. That's everybody's related. I guarantee you. You look deep.
Thanps, Frances.
Right. I am a Kendrick.
I want everybody to know that I don't know if my computer will lock up. This is just like, I just want to let you know, give you a heads up. If it does lock up, stay on. I'll have to log all the way out and come back in, and then I'll be right back where we're at. I'm just letting you know if I have some technical difficulties. Stay right there. I'll be back. It might be a minute or two. Okay, thanks, Frances. Let's go, Shirley. Shirley and then John.
Marshall.
Shirley and then John.
Yes, I'm Shirley. I'm Shirley Banks. That's my married name, and Elizabeth Habit is my sister. That's our maiden name. And I know my mother's. I'm more familiar with my mother's side, and I'm not quite sure how we related to Jerry. If it's paternal yet, as far as I know. Still digging and researching. Oh, and I live in Visalia, California. But
Where at in
someone mentioned
California? Where at?
Hugo
Where at in California?
Visalia.
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 Okay.
Oh, Visalia, Central California. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
It's yeah, it's central. And somebody mentioned Hugo, Oklahoma, and I know as a kid, my parents lived there for a while. I'm not sure, how long, but I remember that place. We could have lived there. I'm not sure, but when she said Hugo, I was like, Oklahoma.
You've got a couple of people there, like Donise's family is from Oklahoma. Okay, John, and then Donise, and then Larry. John Walker.
Yes. Okay. Yes. You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm John Walker, and I am related to you all through the Moss line. My grandmother was a Moss, and if you go back 3 generations, I can get back to James Bond Moss, born in Virginia, 1757, we think, and then he died in Smith County, Tennessee, which is a county east of Nashville, in 1828. I know this is not a project about this, but I do know by looking at the 1820 census, it said that he had 1 female slave. I don't know the name, so perhaps that's somehow related, but I got involved in this with a DNA match with Ethelyn Moss Taylor, and she and I have been communicating back and forth, and even the last few days we've turned up some things about her Philip Moss, who was named Philip Drown. So that was pretty interesting. So that's part of the connection, but I don't know beyond that where it goes. And I, as far as where I live in Franklin, Tennessee, which is Williamson County. It's just a suburb southwest of Nashville.
John, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I just this week ran into a white half of my family. So I just, from your perspective, how does this work? What do you think? How do I talk to these people this week? Yeah.
How do you talk to them?
What was important? What was interesting? What I just this week.
Well, I would just love to figure out, how these mosses interrelated. I don't know. Unfortunately, it conjures up what I think would be bad things, about slave owners but that's a big turnoff to me, obviously. But I don't know of any special way to talk about it other than just get it out there, and just be honest about it. And I just wish I could, on my part, I just wish I knew more about if this one slave had anything to do with, with mosses that are of African American ancestry.
Right.
So that's, I don't know other than that what to tell you, but I just find it very interesting. And just one side thing is, now I am, if you look at my DNA test, I am 1% Congo. So now what that means, I don't know. I don't know how many generations back that is. So.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Donise, you and then Larry.
Gary.
Yes.
Yeah, regarding what Denise's question to John, that's kind of a question I had too. In looking at my maternal family, one of my great grandmother's name was Mary Cranford, happened to be in Ashdown in Arkansas, went by the courthouse. It's just a story, a little incident. And so there was a sign that said Judge Cranford. And I went, oh my gosh, I wonder if we're related. Well, one of the things I've done is just kind of I really learned that I have to look at all the families, not only Black families, but the white families, just to kind of see what the migration pattern were, how were people moving around. And as I waited outside Judge Cranford's door and we just got to talking, I told him I had found this name and I was just curious, and Judge Cranford was white. And so we talked about, and he talked about his family, and he began to tell me the pattern, the migration of his family from Virginia into Georgia to Mississippi and then to Arkansas. And then I started leading the migration of my African American, same thing. And I said, I don't know if we'll ever figure out we're families, but at least the families were on the same kind of track as to where they were going and where they are. So it kind of gave me a little bit more input. So I just find it's just really important to look at all the families, and maybe you might find a connection. Now, I don't know whether Judge Cranford is a relative, but my brother who was with me said, hey, we made him a cousin. So, you know, so I think just a conversation, just asking, you know, people will give what they want to give, and then you can take what you have and put it all together. And it really does, but you really have to look at the migration patterns or how we all were moved about. You really do. They'll kind of give you some input as to where you're going. And then you might just absolutely luck up and find somebody who is connected.
Can I say something? I noticed that in a lot of trees, there's a Mary Polly mouse that shows up quite a bit. I don't know if you ever seen her on y'all's trees, but
yeah,
she does, and that'd be a good, you know, good research project, because that'd be a good research project for us. Okay,
right,
Donise, Donise, and then Larry.
Okay, good afternoon. I'm here in Lake Elsinore, not too far from San Diego. I am not related to this family. I worked with Jerry. Let me show my little book while I'm here. I wrote a book. Here's my little book. Delving into my bitter roots, and so I've kind of been working on helping people find their family, and so I've been coming to his meeting trying to find out what's happening in a family different from mine, to see how his family is similar to my family. It's fascinating to see what happened in the family, what happened back. And so I am here. I kind of sometimes help people and watch what's going on. And I'm supposedly telling you guys something that I learned from that. So that's my story.
Thanks, Donise. She's also, I'm a member of the San Diego Genealogy, African American Genealogy Research Group, and she's a vice president of that group. And so I wanted to find people who had the same interest in the city, and we do have an African American genealogy group, and I'm a member of that. And she's the vice president. She's very helpful with all her research, and she helps us. She'll be giving presentations, so she's a solid member of our group. You family, any way you look at it. Let's go, Larry. Larry.
My name's Larry Trice. I don't really know how I'm related to the Moss Inn. I think we've got 11 centimargins, but actually I think it's from one of your descendants, the Robinsons. Anyway, I have 4 great aunts that lived in Arkansas from your Crittenden area. Donise, I read your book and I need to get with you. I need to discuss some things with you about the book. Okay, that's the first thing.
Show us the book, Larry. Hey, Larry, show us the book.
As far as my family roots.
Larry, show us the book.
It is. In fact, I have been going, oh, here's something. Are you related to Otis Granville Clark?
Not that I know of.
I'll bet you if you did some research, he's out of Oklahoma. He's one of the survivors of the 1921 fiasco or whatever.
Yeah, I had family from there too.
Beg your pardon?
I had family there too.
Well, I know. That's the reason I'm saying with that name Granville, you better be checking that boy out. He's before he passed away, he's on YouTube, and he
Okay.
lived to be 109. Like you said, the
Oh.
genealogy within your family. Okay.
Yes, long living. Yeah.
All right. So you need to check him out. But I need to get with you about Y chromosomes and some of that crazy stuff that Weiland, 3 feet of ice isn't made overnight, that kind of
My
stuff,
husband.
you know. Anyway, I suggest everybody to read the book. You know, I mean, it's cool. My family is from Mississippi. And on my father's side, the land is still there. It's really, in fact, they do call it Trice Road. You know, I mean, all of this is just so fascinating because I did not know my maternal grandmother's name until COVID set in and I started doing research. You know, she was always known as Mama Do. She could do anything a man could do. She could plow, she could chop cotton, chew tobacco, and always carried a pistol. Okay. Hey, that was my Mama Do. I used to spend in fact, probably the funnest times in my life were when I was a young boy. Always spend at least a week down there, if not 2 or 3 weeks at a time, between my maternal side, which was the Wilsons, and the Trices. Like I said, the Trices are there. Okay. I'll let you go on about your meeting, Jerry.
Where you live at, Larry?
Beg your pardon?
Where do you live?
Oh, I'm in Vegas. I'm originally out of St. Louis. I've been in Vegas about 12 years now. I've retired a little early, you know, and hung out here.
Thanks, Larry. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
Any questions for
Donise,
Larry? Any questions for Larry? Okay, let's go to Lorna.
Hello, how you guys doing? I'm new to the group. Nice to meet you. Yes, I got insurance store. I just started doing my I just got my results like maybe 9 weeks ago. And so I just started my search. And so Jerry reached out to me, I think we're about like a 5th or 8th cousin. And in the beginning of the search, I didn't really know anything. But from Jerry's help, I don't know if you want me to go into all that detail, but from Jerry's help, I was able to find my mother's name, my mother and my biological sister, and a huge family. And they also found my father's name. I just never knew. So my father's last name or name is James Thompson. So I'm not sure how I'm connected with you guys, but I haven't, me and my sister only had a picture of each other. And so we just started connecting.
Where do you live?
Well, I live in Georgia, but my family is from Arkansas, like from Pine Bluff, Arkansas. I was born in Milwaukee, and we, you know, my mother moved up to Milwaukee, but our family is from Louisiana, Arkansas, Texas, Virginia, and in that area.
What was your mother's name?
Her name was Eva Mae Madison, and my mother's name was and her mother's name was Elnora Mae Madison.
Well, this cousin was very, very astute, and she was persistent, and I gave her different tools and just had to, you know, have her pump her brakes a little bit. And okay, we have we have a system we use, and she used the system, and she ended up with treasures, diamonds, acres of them.
Right.
Am I right?
Right.
Cool.
Right. Yeah, he told me, he said, by this month's over, you would know your father's name. You know who your father is. And on Father's Day, I learned because on my DNA match, I have a first cousin that's on there. We're a really strong match. And he said, I bet you a Thompson. And so I went through my tree and I reached out to people, they reached back out to me, and then we started connecting on information. And my family had been looking for me because I had got separated, and it's been 45 years since my sister saw me. And so we've been connected. Her name is Barbara Madison, and I've been looking for a Barbara Joe Madison. So it's been very interesting, but it's been fun. But like I said, he really helped me, and I really want to say thank you for that.
It's my pleasure. That makes this whole journey worthwhile, and the torch has been passed to me, and I'm sharing like with Francis, Diane, Eddie.
Right.
When we get together, they share information, and that's what we do. And I'm blessed to have some experience, and I want you to accomplish your goals and find your family members and use this science, use this technology to connect with your family, because we have, and we got to use it.
Right.
Okay. Right. Who's next? Marshall and then Tamara. We have a brief introductions, and then we're gonna go into presentation. Marshall, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, and then Tamara? Marshall.
Okay. I joined earlier. I made it home. I was driving when I joined. But I'm Marshall Proby. I'm in Dallas, Texas.
Could you adjust your camera a little bit more? I want to see your face. So if I walk by you, I'll be able to recognize you. There you go.
Okay. I'm in Dallas, Texas. My grandmother was Lucinda Kendrick, and her mother was Harriet Burnell. And I joined this call to learn more about the Burnells and the Kendricks. And I put a tree together, and I'm trying to make sure that it's accurate. So if anybody can help me flesh this thing out, that would be great. And I don't know, there are several people out here with large trees, but is there one tree that's been, I guess, deemed the official tree that I could reference and possibly pull from?
Hey, Jerry, this is Francis. I'm going to have to leave. Marshall, you're my cousin. Harriet Burnell, I'm related to your Kendrick's family. Harriet was married to Harold Kendrick. Yeah, right. Harold was my great-grandmother's brother, and Harriet is that other Burnell. That's the Nimrod Burnell side. No, Harriet, I'm just connected to the Burnells. I'm your double cousin. I'm a cousin. I'll text you my email address, and I'll send you the Kendrick's family.
Thank you.
She is the connection.
All the way back. All the way back to Martha. Martha, born in Georgia.
Thanks, Francis. Thank you very much.
Good luck, Francis. I read about that story you're talking about. Good luck with that.
Oh, okay. I'll keep you informed. I'll text my email address. I'll keep you informed on the Georgetown
because
thing.
some of the descendants can go to Georgetown, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go to the Georgetown Zoom meeting.
Okay.
Thank you, Francis. Thank you.
Thanks, Francis. Hey.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Francis. You awesome.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay, Tamara. Can you hear us? Tamara, I know you probably got something going. Tamara's like my cousin, and
hello. I am here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. Come on with it.
Okay. Who is that on here? Hi, everybody.
Hello.
I'm just busy right now. That's why I have my. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we do. We understand too.
I was busy on another meeting, but I wanted to tell. Is Lorna still on here? She's gone. Oh, there she is.
Yes.
Lorna, I really feel for you because I'm really happy for you that you found who your dad was, because the same thing happened to me. And so I know exactly how you feel connecting with your family and after all these years. And I'm just really happy for you because it's like a closure. It's like something was missing and you made that connection. And it's kind of overwhelming sometimes, but congratulations. I've been on here for, the beginning with Jerry because Jerry matched my grandmother and my aunts. And uncle. And then we found out we're related through City Moss, who was a Roberts, who was related to my grandmother's mother, who she never knew. My grandmother never knew her grandmother's mother until we did this DNA thing and found Jerry. And I believe that her mother was City, but it could have been an aunt. City could have been an aunt. We're not sure if she's a mother or aunt, but we're all related on the Moss side. So welcome everybody. Sorry I can't be on camera today because I know this is recorded and I'm on another call and I'm taking.
And let me just say a few
I
things
got a lot
about
going on today.
she's
But I didn't want to miss this meeting. Huh?
She's our our science. She found her father through science and DNA with the X and Y's. Larry, you know what you were talking about? He was deceased,
Yeah.
but through her research, she was able to uncover matching, and she found out who her father was. And she lives in Los Angeles. She's a dentist, and she's a real close, cousin of mine. And I look forward to seeing her, in the very near future.
So.
Oh, she's super busy, but she hangs with us. Okay, let's take a 5-minute break, and then we're gonna have a couple of presentations. Does that work? Does that work for you, for everybody? Take a break.
Yes.
Yeah, 5-minute break or so.
Hey, Larry.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I put my email address on the chat. So if you want to see it.
On the chat.
Yeah. You know how to see that? So you go to, oh, you on your phone. Okay. But let's see.
Just give it to me. I'll write it.
Okay. Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Donise, DONISE LORENE. So it's Donise Lorraine at
Wait a minute. LORENE.
E isn't.
Okay, I got it.
Donise Lorraine at iCloud.com.
Okay. Yeah, I was really interested in the Y chromosome thing. Yeah, and some other things.
Okay. Okay, cool. So you can ask me and we can talk.
And actually, I don't know why you don't promote your book. I mean, it's something that all of us would like to be able to do. In fact, this trip that I've got going, doing my Southern trip thing, I know that I'm going to have to go back next year, at least. It's just not enough time to do what I want to do. So.
Donise,
You're
what's
a
the name of your
pro.
book again?
Okay. Name of my book is Delving into My Bitter Roots. So that's DELVING, Delving into My Bitter Roots. Okay. And then the rest of it is How I Resurrected My Enslaved Ancestor, Granville, and So Can You.
How I resurrected my what?
Enslaved ancestor. Enslaved ancestor.
Okay. Yeah.
Granville. And So Can You.
Okay.
And it's under my name, Donise Smith Lay, Lei.
Where would we?
On Amazon.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm trying to unmute this picture. Thanks.
It's on Amazon.
Okay.
Let me go get some water.
Jerry.
What's that there?
Oh, I was saying, come on, start it back up.
You having that much fun?
Crank it up. Huh?
You having that much fun, huh? We're glad to have you. Crank it back.
Hey, it's a big jump from when I first started with your group. It's a big jump. You've come a long ways, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you, man. You really have helped us. I'm always glad to see you.
I don't know about that.
Oh, there's a grandson over there where's your grandson at, Larry? I mean, Champ, he just left? Eddie?
No, that was just a picture.
Oh, a picture.
That was just a picture. Yeah. No, he's not here.
All right, everybody, let's come on back in when you get a chance, and then we'll see what kind of presentations we're gonna have here when you get a second. Any questions? Anybody have any? You see somebody, see something, say something. How about that? How you
Can I
doing?
throw out a few names, Jerry?
Well, just don't confuse
Can I
us,
throw out a few
Evelyn.
names?
As long as you keep it in the ballpark. You
Oh,
throw
man.
things so far out the damn ballpark. Come on, keep it in the ballpark.
Well, that went out the ballpark. I was just telling y'all that I finally found my grandpa's connection.
Are you sure about that?
That's my grandpa's connection?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, come on. Give us the names you want to talk about.
But I was going to throw out I'm in this, her last name Bright, and her mouse is, I'm kin to her, my fourth cousin. Her mouse is a Mary Jane Mouse, 1690, 1760. John Mouse, 1667, 1716. Robert Mouse, 1633, 1689.
Are you talking about
Wait a minute, these white folks?
I don't know if they white
Come
or
on,
not.
Larry.
I just know
Help
they-
me, Larry. Are you talking about 1600 and 1700?
Yep.
Golly. My goodness. Go on, Larry. What you got to say?
Well,
about
my
that?
thing is black folks didn't have names back then.
Yeah, we have to
No
go back
surnames anyway.
there. We have to go back there to get where we at, right, Larry?
Beg your pardon?
So we have to go back there to get where we at.
Oh, yeah. You're going to the root, which is the white folks. You got to look at that.
Listen at her. Oh, Evelyn, she's shaking some trees. She's
No, you didn't
participating.
let me.
Look at
You
her.
didn't let me.
She's
You didn't let me
participating
throw.
now. Look
You
at
didn't
it.
let
She
me
getting
throw all
a
the
little
white
tough.
folks out.
I did my DNA and it turns out I'm about 15% European. So
Now, Evelyn, have you put those into your tree?
No, I haven't.
Well,
Yeah.
the information you have.
Yeah, I
put it
think
into
so.
your tree.
But they ain't the one that me and you worked on yet. But they're my
Okay.
old ones.
So we got to add those to your tree so we can look at it.
Well, you could go into my original tree there and there. They're in there.
Okay.
Also,
Yeah.
keep in mind that they did have names if you look at wills and contracts, because they specifically named slaves that they were willing to other people. And that's where you see the name. So they're not listed on the census, but they are listed in wills for when they're
Right.
inheriting property.
Well, that's true.
So that is where you would.
They're under the property record.
Educating y'all.
Slave owner was the name.
That's right.
So
Educate.
So yeah, so in my family, because my family was at a huge plantation, they had so many people. They had last names because there were so many people. There were 500 people in a plantation, so they had last name. Otherwise, how would they say? You know, who's
I have a question. How do you find that information? I mean, I'm even lost to trying to
The
find
one I
that
was just
information.
talking about, when you go in your trees,
Uh-huh.
You could type in, like if you get a match, this is what I do it. If I get a match, then I'll go in the tree and then I'll type in mouse or whatever names you're looking for. And these here people, I met them early on, and but she's a Wright and Boatman, Walker, Duff, uh, Wharton, Ramsey, Harris, Baker, Whitaker. That's their in their tree.
Okay, because I see a lot of names of people, but it says that they're not. I hadn't added them to my tree because I don't know which side. I don't know which side they belong on.
Elizabeth?
Well, make you a separate tree.
Uh-huh.
And then put them in a separate tree.
Okay.
Elizabeth, may I
Yes.
interject here? What
Yes.
you can do sometimes, if you know, I'm pardon me if I'm repeating what someone already said, but if you know who the slave owner was, sometimes the slaves you don't know. Sometimes
No.
the slave owners would their last will and testament, they would bequeath slaves to like their siblings, their children, and so sometimes if you can sometimes find the name there because it shows that so and so willed Polly Jean to their daughter so and so. You'll be able to sometimes be able to trace them that way too.
So do you find these records in the county seat for the state, or they're not always there on Ancestry?
No, you're probably gonna have to go into the actual government documents, unless someone who is also a descendant has linked it or scanned it or uploaded it somehow. Otherwise, you're gonna have to go to the actual deeds and estate type stuff, whatever, in whatever county you're talking about. It'll be filed there in the clerk's
Some
office
wills
most of the time.
and records are on Ancestry.
Oh, okay.
The only problem is it's not digitalized. It's a hard read. It's a real hard read. But there are wills. In fact, I was reading my ancestors' owner's will, and he had one slave. In 1848, when he passed, he had one slave. It was a guy named Nathan that was 80 years old. He had manumissioned all his other slaves.
Oh. Is John still in here?
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
here.
he's still there. Yeah.
Mhm.
Tell him how you found my grandpa. That was
Um,
still Ancestry, right?
yeah, it was through Ancestry, and actually I went into Family Search, and
Yes, Family Search
just
is
on just on a hunch, and put in Philip Moss, and it redirected me to go to a military record then, which I then pulled up on Fold 3 and found that he was actually named Philip Drown, Drown, and he was in a military hospital. He actually died in a military hospital at Leavenworth, Kansas in 1929. And up to that point, I think all that Ethelyn knew or thought that she knew was that he maybe had lived to 1950. But and there was a very interesting note that I've never seen on anyone else's Fold 3 military record before. And it had a note that he was, it said owner. I think his name was Leroy Drown. That doesn't sound right, but anyway, this gentleman that was a first lieutenant, from Ohio.
Leroy.
Yeah, Leroy Drown from Ohio,
Right.
but he joined the Kentucky Cavalry, but that's the only notation I can find. But when this person died, his record actually shows both names. It shows him both as Philip Drown in his Fold 3 record, military record, but then it says alias Moss, so also known as last name Moss. And in fact, then when I found that, then I was able to go back into Ancestry census records and found in 1880, he was still under the name Drown, D-R-O-W-N, but by 1900, he had changed his name to Moss. Now, why he did that, I don't know. So it's all pretty interesting.
Thank you, John.
People's names were fluid until Social Security because no one cared. But when Social Security came along and you wanted to do a pension or you wanted to get something, then your name and your birth, all that stuff became important. But before that, people changed their names. That's how I found this family of mine. He changed his name.
Right.
Makes sense.
Denise,
Did I hear you
Denise?
Harris, Evelyn?
What'd you say? Sorry.
Did you say one of your ancestors with last name was Harris?
I matched with Harris, but it wasn't Harris in this tree. But I do match with Harris.
Okay. Because the situation, and I'll make it brief.
Go ahead.
Jerry, I promise, is that my father was told his father's last name was Harris, but he never met him and doesn't know if that really was his name or not. So I've been going on the name Harris. And so I heard you say Harris. I'm like, well, maybe it was Harris. Maybe there are some people that are, that are out there. But like I said, it's a big question mark. But I heard you say Harris and it kind of piqued my interest.
Have you tried Gen Match?
Yes, and it's like trying to read Einstein's theory of relativity for me.
So have you done like?
I agree with you.
I even tried to look at that YouTube tutorial, and the guy made it sound so easy. But then you look at a list like this, of these little teeny, you're trying to figure out how many centimorgans and what does that mean and whatever. And I just sort of like threw my hands up because I don't understand.
Do you have your Gen Match number, John?
I do. Yeah, I think I gave it to you before, Jerry.
I'm sure you did. Could you give it to us? Could you give it to us? Do you have it right in front of you, or you have to look for it?
I'll do it while you are. I won't hold you up. I'll look it up and then I'll send it out.
All right, we're gonna go to a couple of presentations. Donise, do you have something you want to share with us?
Yes, I'll do mine fine. Thank you. Good. Okay.
And I got this. I have it set up for shared screen for multiple people, and you're on.
All right. So what I did this presentation last time a little bit at our meeting last time, and then Jerry asked me to do it again. So what I'm going to do is to explain to you how you group your people. And some of you, this is going to be really helpful for you because right now I'm trying to help somebody find an adoptive parent, and this is how you do it. Okay, so you group your people, and I'm going to be working on ancestry. So I'm going to go on ancestry first, and
Eddie, we'll need you to tell us your presentation on how you manage DNA kits after her, please.
Okay. All right. So now this is my DNA, and I'm going to start off with my father. No, that's not the wrong one. I'm going to start off with my father's DNA and look at his to show you why we do this.
I have a question for you.
So this,
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Show us the number of kits there over there on the side. How do you have all those kits that you are those the kits that you have, you manage, that you bought the kit and you gave the person?
Okay, all these, right? Okay, all these names right here.
Yeah. Those.
Okay, so these are all people that I have their DNA tests, and I ask them for it. And I say, okay, will you share your DNA with me? And they say yes. And so you get an invitation. So these are all DNA that I can do. And so the thing about it is I can look at different people's, like these are all my cousins and things, and I can look at all of them at the same time. I can look on my tree and look on their tree and look at everybody else's tree by doing that. So
the question is, did you actually buy the kit and send it to them?
No, I did not.
So
none of them. I bought none of them. I just asked them. Will you share your DNA with me? And you have to go into the
share your DNA or share your tree with them.
Your DNA. They're two separate ones.
Okay, see, that's very important. You hear that, champ?
Yeah, hey, Jerry, let her finish her presentation, then we'll get back to that. That's part what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I just want to, I just want to get the parameters. So to share
No,
the
but-
DNA. I got to learn too. I got to ask the master.
Okay, this is my father's DNA page, and my father passed away last year, and I can't get into it to do anything with it. But if you look at it, it's just a bunch of names and a bunch of things on here, and he hasn't opened it up, and so I'm hoping to find out his name yet, but I don't know. But notice that it's just a bunch of names, and you can't figure out what's going on. So that's why this method was developed. It was developed by this lady, Lead. She did it for looking for people when they're looking for adoptees. So this is my father's. So now I'm going to go into my mother's to show you a little bit more how it's very helpful when we do it. So that was my father's. Now I have control of my mother's, okay? And so then these dots right here tell me different parts of the family. So this is me on my mother's side, and this is my niece right here and who she's invited. And so these little dots, I have it divided up so I know exactly whose side of the family is right away. So when the light colored ones right here, that I know that's my mother's side. So anytime it's a light color one, it's my mother's side. And when it's a dark color side, it's on my father's side. So I know right away which side it is. And then if I have somebody new, let's see if I can find somebody new here. Okay, this person right here, let's see what happens. I don't know who this is. No, I don't know who that is. Okay, this is a new person right here. So this is a new person. I don't know who it is. So let's see what I just press her to see what happens. And then I'll say, what you do is you go to that person and you're going to go to shared matches. Okay. Okay. So then I go to shared matches and I look down. Okay. So see how I keep seeing this green, 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 green. So then I know that this person is related to green, whatever I have for green, and I'll look to see who that is. Add a group. Add a group. Okay, so a green right here is the Klindemans people in my family, the Klindeman side of my family. So once I find out all these are green, I can now add other people. Okay. So then this is, so I can just click all these people all at once, which is very cool. So I'll just click here, click here, click here. Because I know all these people are shared matches. I'm just going to click, 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 and click all these people on this list. And okay, I got there's a lot of people. This particular part of my family, this is a white side of my family, and there's a lot of them on my mother's side. So all these people, I'm still got all these people. They're all on this Klindeman side. Okay, it's taken me a while to do that, but I'll do all of them. Okay, then when I have that, then I'm going to, this is the Klindeman, and I add it, then all those people now will be green. So I now know that everybody in this is the Klindeman side, and I can divide out so my people. So I have, so this is me, this is my sister, my niece, and all these people are Klindeman. So it makes life much easier. Now, one other thing I want to show you is like this person right here, it says it's a common ancestor, okay? So I'm going to click that common ancestor right there, okay? And then this over here, it tells me, since we have a common ancestor, if you look over here, it's going to tell you the relationship. So I view here, okay? And so this is my mother, my grandfather, his mother, and then this is my great-grandfather right here. So, and so this is the family, the Reader family. And so my mother is a half cousin, so because this is a half family right here, a half cousin of this person. So you can use Ancestry to tell you this information. So this person is one of the interesting people I have in my family. And through this guy Reader in my family, I found out that I am related to Thomas Jefferson, white guy in my family. So anyway, so all those things are useful for you to figure out what's going on. And then you can, okay, once I get to her, each time all you're going to do is you get to a person and you just go shared matches. So then shared matches, I look to see, okay, I go through again to see that everybody on here has that green. Oh, there's a new person there. So she's in this group. So they're going to be a shared match. If you understand the DNA, Oh, here's some more people. And she might even be a different group. I have to look at her more carefully because there's so many people in this group that weren't in the other one. She might even be further back. But fundamentally, you start doing that and you divide your family up. Okay, let me talk to you a little bit about how you start to do it. Okay, so back. Okay, let me go back again. Back, and I'll start at the beginning. Okay, how do you do that? Okay, so when you're going to start to do this, the first thing you do is you have to start with your second cousins. Okay, so you go to your second cousin. She's actually a first cousin from once been you, but it works the same. So you start with this person first, and you don't do anybody in your first cousins, or because there's too many people. They're matching both your sides. Okay, so you don't want to start with them. You have to start with second cousin, or this is a first cousin once removed on my side. Okay, so the first thing I do is I find my second cousin, or it's a first cousin. They have to be like around 400 centimorgans. Okay, so see there's 400 centimorgans. You start there, 400. Then I'm going to, the first thing I do, so I started off with her, and then I press shared matches, and then I came up with the color. So she, on this side of the family, it's going to be up here too. So edit, and that side of the family, it's two. It's the Randolph and the Robinsons. So the Robinsons are this color and the Randolphs are this color. And I actually have this divided out, but you pick one color, you have to figure out who it is, to look who the family is. So if I look at her, I look at her tree right here. Okay, so see over again, we have a common ancestor right here. There's a Robinsons, there's a Randolph. That's my great grandmother and great grandfather. And then that'll tell you, okay, that there she is. She's my first cousin once removed. So I use this information. It tells me for the ones I don't. I really can't figure out the ones I don't know yet all the time, but I really go in when it says who that is. So this is a Robinson. So when I do the name up here, let's see right here, you have a list right here. So one is Randolph and one is Robinson. I've actually divided this out. And it takes a little bit to figure this out. So each way, these are all the different people that I have. I'm looking at, so I've got this group. I don't know who it is. I have an unknown. I don't know who that is. So if you're looking for somebody who is like a adoptee, I have a group that comes up like that. And then this is, I've got a Jewish group. I got this huge Jewish group. I've been trying to figure out how am I related to this Jewish group. So that's a Jewish group. Early Virginia people. This is the point I talked about. This is Albert Diggs and Deggs. He changed his name from Diggs to Deggs. So that's, I have all the people from his group. So anyway, so that's how you do this. And for those of you who are trying to figure out how to divide your family up, that's how you do it. You would start off with somebody you know. So I know this is my second cousin. I know her. So these are all people on my second cousin's side. Okay, and then this, so she's on one side and this person right here is Robinson. Okay, when I do him, see he only has one color right here, Robinson. So he's only Robinson. So when I go over here and I do here, this is Robinson, a different person. So then that's why he's only yellow, because he's only related to the Robinson side. He's one back. So he's back here, Robinson. He's my, let's see, what is he? He's a second cousin. So the further back. So he's only Robinson, and I figured that out. So here's my great grandfather. That's his, the brother right here. And so that's how I keep dividing it out to different people. So that this was my mother's. Okay, and I'm going to go in and show you mine. Okay. Okay, so mine, I've done a lot. See, I have a lot of different people. I keep dividing it out, dividing it out, dividing it out, dividing it out. And so the more I keep dividing it out, the more I know who those people are. And so that's why I'm able to go back generation, because I'm looking for that book I wrote about. That's my third great grandfather. So I'm looking for people from him. So that's why I have to keep dividing it out. Whenever I pick somebody though, you know, these are all from my mother's side, and these are all from my father's side, and these have been divided out on my father's side. And whenever I knew a new person, so I've got this done a lot. I spent a lot of time working on this. It is very, very, very helpful for you to do this so that you can figure out, you know, which side they are. That's what a lot of you have said, that I don't know what side it's on. So then you divide them all out by using the common ancestor and using the shared ancestry. Okay, so any questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
Like mine, when I do that, I'm thinking that my sister and my other sister's two daughters I think we're double kin. So how do you do that?
You're double kin? Yeah, okay.
I'm thinking so, yeah.
Okay, so when you're double kin, that's why you don't start off with those people. So you want to start off with somebody below them. So don't use those people. It'll just show. So it'll just show up later on if they are, because like this person, this is a first cousin. There's 3 different people. So you want to start off with people not like that. Don't start with them. And then when I do it, okay, like this person right here, this is my first cousin right here. Okay, he's got 3 different people. So then when I do a shared match on him, see, he shares my father, my cousin, he shares people above me, but that's why I don't want to start off with somebody like that. I want to start off with somebody below that. The further down I do, I want to find somebody like that. Like this person right here, I'm having a hard time figuring out who this person is. There's something strange about this person. But anyway, I have a hard time. But see, these have been divided out, and you just keep moving down more and more divisions so that I know who they are. So I know who all my first cousins are, my second cousin are, my third cousin, and I'm working on my 4th cousins by just dividing out like that again and again. So yeah, don't start with those people like that.
But what point do you add them?
They will come out. Okay, all right. They will be there because they will be, each time you have a different side, it'll come up. You see what I'm saying? So like this is a second cousin of mine right here. So when I view him, okay, here he is. And then when I do shared matches on him. So see, these people are, see how they have all these different, they'll have all these different colors. So that's why you don't want to start with them. So I want to start, he's right here. And then I find all the people that are oh, there's another cousin matching him. So, and then when I find one of these, it doesn't match, then it's a 1, then I do that again. So that's why it will work. Now, when you get to what they call collapsing, that's called collapsing pedigree. That's a more advanced thing, a little above my pay grade. So you know that. So you have to look up, but it's called collapsing pedigree. So you can look that up. Collapsing, where you've got too many people that are related to them. So look up how you do that. Collapsing pedigree.
Thanks, Donise. Thank you. Eddie, showtime. Tell us what your presentation is going to be on.
Mine is not that big. What I did, I know we're all doing a research and we want to find a lot of people to get on, do their DNA. So just a little way that I started doing it was that if you purchase a kit for someone in your family, my deal is then normally when you send it out to them, then they have to call you and ask you how to set their DNA up, and then Ancestry always asks them to sign up for an account. So what I started doing was basically, when I have the kit sit to my house, I open up the kit and activate the kits before I send them out to my relatives. I call them and tell them I'm gonna send them a kit, and I get their email address and their name. And then I go in and literally set up an account for them, a free account. And then when they get the kit, all they have to do is spit in it and send it back. It cuts down a lot of the headache of saying, well, you need to do this and you need to do that. And I found out a lot of relatives don't want to take the time to do it. So if you do it for them, it turns out to be a lot better. And the reason why I've sent out 5 kits and I did all 5 of them the same way. And the process was a lot faster that way. So it's just something, a little tip that when you start sending your kits or starting to want to get your relatives a kit out there, the best way that I found out is to activate it yourself. And you can actually activate it by just creating an account for them and then just wait. And you get all the, and also you go in there and you select that you want to be the manager of the kit. Everyone you send a kit to, you make sure you select it as the manager. That way you get all the information just like they will.
Hey, Eddie, will you get the same thing like Donise had access to their DNA? Will you get that too?
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you consider, if you're the manager of it, you get all the information. For instance,
you have those tests too. Like she had a number of tests that
okay,
she
let
could click
me
on.
share what I have.
Okay.
I'll show you what I'm talking about.
All right.
If y'all don't mind.
I'm more visual than audio.
Okay, this is okay. Everybody can see my screen, right? This is my screen over here.
Yep.
All right. So what I did, this is all my listing of people
Wow.
that I have access to.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
but what I did,
My goodness.
these are my sisters, Letha, Joyce, Naomi. This is my niece. This is a first cousin and a first cousin, and I sent these kits to them, so I activated them. Okay, so when I get the kit, what you get when you get a kit, it goes up here and it asks you, do you want to activate a kit? Let me show you how I do it. Here's a test kit, and I have one in the process right now. I sent one out to a cousin, and it's in the process, so I have control over it once they finish processing. This is another first cousin, but when you activate a kit, let me see if it'll give me. Okay, activate over here. You start saying, "Is this for you?" And you go no, and then it goes to another page where you actually put their stuff, their information in, their name and a email address, and you create an account for them. And you also can scan. What you do, you get the number off the tube, and you can use that tube number to activate the kit from there.
That's right.
So if I say no, then they'll tell you, say, well, you got to activate your kit. You have to sign in with them. So you create a new account, which is very, very easy to do. All you need is their name and an email address. And I also create their passwords, so I know the passwords. So,
why are you laughing?
And they like it. Hey,
why are you laughing?
They love it because you don't have to log on.
I told you he's my top.
I create
He's my
passwords
top
very
secret. He's
simple.
top secret.
Yeah.
He's
So
our top
I create
secret.
one like a password like moonshine, so you can remember it. Once you activate it, you go into their account. You log on onto their account that you created for them because you have control of it. And you set up. You go in there and you change where you become the manager of that account. Up here. See, these are all the people I have access to their accounts. And you can add it in here. When you add a person, it asks you, do you want to be the manager of the account? This is what you look for right here when you select it.
Yeah.
You send an invite and you say, well, then you say, I want to be the manager. And once you do that, then everything, when it process, you have control of it.
I hear you.
And the reason why I did that also, because see, I have an annual membership. And that's why I'm finding out that a lot of people that get on Ancestry with their DNA, they don't have a membership, so they leave it alone. But if you have a membership with it, you can always go back and look at theirs and see how many people how many new hits that you have.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah.
So
Can I say something?
so and piggybacking on Donise, the way she did her grouping is the same way I did my grouping. How I started out was that I took the first person I knew was my first cousin right here. And I knew my first cousin on my father's side. He's on my father's side. So I gave him a code over here, which is my father's side right here. And that's how I started building my group, because I knew somebody on both sides of my parental side, and I started grouping them. Now, all these right here, and this has been years, since I've been on Ancestry, this is how big my group has come. And this is all over, everybody's coded. And I do have double cousins. This means right here that I have double cousins.